The Dubuque Area Arts Collective presents Ruix Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Ruix Podcast. My name is Jon Eagle, and some of you regular listeners may have noticed that we've been on a little bit of a hiatus. I think that the last episode was episode 21, the Dean Wellman episode, and that was way back in I want to say February. It might have been early March. But the reason for our absence is we've been working on the Project One music series mentoring program, which I mentioned the last couple of episodes. I want to give you a status update on that for sure, because as I said before, it's a 12-week program, and we're down to the last 2 weeks. It's crunch time, really, because the show that this whole program is culminating into is on Sunday, May 1st from 5 to 9 at the Smokestack. So I'm going to get into specifics on the show in a minute, but I just want to mention how how proud I am of this group of young people and how hard they've been working. It's been really great and really rewarding for me, and for I think I can speak for the other mentors as well. These kids really pulled it together and, decided to work together despite the fact that some of them didn't even really know each other before the program. And now they're playing, Cramp songs and shit. Like it's really, really wonderful. And I can't wait to showcase the talent that these young people have, because it's really extraordinary. But like I said, that show is going to be Sunday, May 1st at the Smokestack, and the students have come up with names. So let me just go down the list here. The groups that will be playing are as follows: Flame Job, Rainy Day Fund, Otabanga, Shot to the Heart, the Dicky Birds, and Lyric. So I can't stress enough that this is going to be a really fun time, and it's, like I said, it's the culmination of just a really great 12 weeks for all of us involved. So, and then I should also mention that next episode we're going to be speaking, or I'm going to talk to a few of the kids about the program and about let them hype their upcoming show a little bit, and I think I'll probably get one of the other mentors to sit in on that conversation. Maybe Drew or Matt or somebody like that. But so that's going to be next episode, like I said. And we'll so you'll hear a little bit more about that program before the show actually happens. Now, I want to, because I don't really have anything else to hype, I want to talk about a few of the things that happened while we were away. We did have an Readings Under the Influence, RUI, that went by, and I wanted to thank everyone that did come out to that. It was the first one at the Smokestack, and that was on April 2nd. And, our panel of readers, Ryan Werner, Andy Benson, Heidi Zull, and Alice Olson. Can't thank you enough. It was great. Read their shit, all about scavengers. And then, of course, thank you to Cranes and Vultures. I always think I'm saying that wrong because their name is spelled with a slash. So, I don't know if it's Cranes Vultures or Cranes and Vultures or Cranes divided by Vultures, or I don't know. But either way, I thank them for showing up to that. That was a really fun time. I feel kind of bad that not everybody stuck around for their set at the end of the night, but sometimes those are the breaks. But anyway, anybody listening to this that was involved with the last RUI, thank you very, very much. What else is going on? Bob, Bucko, and I just recorded the Dirty Swears EP with one Matt Hohmann, so that was really fun. That's the past weekend, so that should be coming out soon. It's not very often that I get to plug my own shit, so, allow me to be a little bit vain here for a minute. This was the first time we played together since the Multiple Cat CD release show, which was back on February 12th. So, I don't know. It was a good time. We drank a lot, and we got a lot done over that weekend, and it was fun. I don't think I have anything else that I want to discuss with you all, with the exception of today's guest, which is Andy Schneider. Andy, well, I've known Andy for quite a while, but I can't quite pinpoint when it was that I actually met him. I know we go back to the all ages shows days where I would work the door at the lift. But you know, it might even be before that. I do know that I've seen him in a lot of bands, and I've seen him sort of come of age over the years into, you know, sort of a, I don't know. I hate to use the term jack of all trades because I use it way too much, but I think maybe it applies here. He's a hell of a guitar player. He's writing songs. He plays drums in one of his bands. You know, he's just he's an extraordinary talent, and he's, you know, a hell of a skateboarder. And you know, I'm excited to talk to him. I think it's going to be a good time. The dude is he's a former neighbor of mine. He used to live downstairs from me back when I lived in maybe the dirtballest building in town, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I'm rambling, so let's go and check in with Andy now. Yeah, I was telling John, I was like, yeah, I'm going to interview Andy Schneider for the podcast. He's like, do I know him? I'm like, yeah, he comes in all the time. He likes thrash and punk, and he buys tapes a lot. And he's like, oh, yeah, I think I know him. Is he black? I'm like, nope.
Yeah. Actually, funny thing.
Yeah.
I'm adopted. My parents are black. Real parents.
This is your intro.
But now I'm trying to figure out who he means, who he thinks that, who?
A younger skater kid that's black.
Yeah, I can't think of who that would be.
I think his name is Blackman.
Onyx?
Troy Blackman.
Fuck yeah. Are you the one that provided with the drugs that took the life from her frail yet popular body? Oh, cool. Okay.
Rolling in deep.
Well, now you threw me for a loop. You shouldn't have even said anything. Should have just went going. Anyways. Hey, buddy.
What's up?
Here with Andy Schneider, and we're going to talk music for a little while, I think. Well, first of all, I want to like start with I'm a little like I was thinking about this today. The first time I probably met you was like maybe off minor days. Does that sound right?
Or like early lift days when I was a teeny bopper.
Right. Okay. So
One of the two.
your first band was American Inquisition. Is that right?
No, I used to do Reptar with the guys in high school.
That's right. That was with like Kurt.
Matt recorded Reptar. Yeah.
That was with like Kurt and.
Gerlach, and then we had Breitfelder and Tool on bass.
That's right. Yeah. So I probably worked a door for some of those shows. I do remember Reptar. I think that was a pretty rad band, actually, from what I remember.
Yeah, people threw down in the pit.
Yeah?
That's cool. Yeah.
With a little bit of encouragement from you, I would say.
Yeah.
You were a little wilder back then.
Yeah, very much so.
So, and then after that was American Inquisition, right?
Yeah, it was Tapeworm, Trend, and then American Inquisition.
Tapeworm Trend, man. Yeah, I forgot about them, too. You had some T-shirts that you sold in my old store.
Yeah, there was version 1 and version 2.
That was with Sean, right? Who was supposed to be here tonight?
Yeah, he's supposed to be here tonight. He couldn't make it, though.
Okay. Well, how do you think that, like, over the years, you're, like, because, like, the bands you're in now are, like, really, really good. Not that those bands weren't, but you know what I mean? Like, but you know what I mean? Like, you like, your sound has matured quite a bit, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I've slowed myself down a little bit and trying to take it a little more seriously.
Yeah.
Because I don't really know how to do anything else besides play music and
For sure.
skateboard and party. So
Yeah.
and I ain't gonna be rich off skateboarding. So
Well, yeah, I definitely want to get back to the skateboarding because that's something I don't really know much about, and I want to hear you talk about it. But
it's fun.
So right now, oh, this is another thing. The fact that your bands are like, you're in 3 bands now?
Yeah, I got a side project going because me and Pat from Snuff Queen, the drummer.
Yeah. Pat
We,
Kress,
yeah,
friend
Pat.
of my family's for a long time.
Yeah, me and him did something back in the fall where I had these solo tunes.
Uh-huh.
I played one show, and he came and checked it out, and he was like, I want to play drums.
Oh, cool.
So Hafel's asking us to do these shows, and so was this guy at Sandy Hook, and so was Jeremy when it was still the Aranel or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So we played 3 shows in one weekend and had a good time, and everybody seemed to dig it.
This was just you and Pat?
Yeah, so just me and Pat. And then like about a month ago, Hafel hit me up. He's like, you still doing that? And I said, no. And he's like, we'll get it back together. I got some shows for you guys.
Okay.
So we did. So we've had about 2 practices, and we've already played 1 show.
And that's Warris, right?
Yeah, and then we're playing tonight at the Lift again. So
I understand you have a song called A Poke and a Stoke or something like that?
oh, it's called Sippin' Whiskey.
Oh, okay.
Sippin' Whiskey is all
Was
I
it?
need.
Did it used to be called that? Because Werner.
Yeah,
Okay, cat out of the bag. Werner's like, ask him about poking a stoke or something
it's
like that.
like sipping whiskey in a bag of weed. Yeah, baby, that's all I need.
Okay.
Take a seat and rest your feet. Have a drink with me. We could poke and toke all night, yeah, until the sun comes up. And I can't remember the lyric right now. Something about like when the see that sun in the sky or time's up.
Okay.
It's like I wrote it like I don't know 4 years ago as a joke, and
Mm-hmm.
now it's an actual song.
Cool though. So the 3 bands you're in, pretty varied from each other, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, for sure. Snuff Queen and Sludge Burner, they're both heavy, but they have totally different sound,
Yeah.
different theme going on. Sludge Burner is more chill, but heavy, and a little more riff oriented, I'd say.
Yeah.
And then Snuff Queen is a little just like kind of fast paced, heavy,
Okay.
like bluesy rock, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah, kind of closer to like Unsane or Today's the Day,
Yeah,
somebody like
like-
this.
Hafel said it best, I thought, when he's like, it's like Unsane trying to play sleep songs. I'm like, okay, I like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, yeah, you're a big fan of those bands,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
a lot of your
lot of
influences
the-
are rooted in like early metal and what else would you say?
Definitely early thrash metal. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was raised on like early Metallica and Slayer, Megadeth and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then, of course I had the classics like Sabbath, Deep Purple, So I got to hear a wide spectrum of music growing up.
Right.
And stuff, so
Okay. And you think that informs pretty much everything that you've done musically thus far?
yeah, and I've been getting more into, as I get older, more into underground stuff, like stuff that like I discovered like Electric Wizard and like I Hate God and shit like that when I was just coming out of high school, and
Yeah.
I fell in love with that. I just didn't do anything with that inspiration until more recently. Like now the bands I'm in now kind of incorporate a little bit of that stoner doom
Yeah.
thing going on there,
So that's sort of like what Warris is more about, like sort of.
Warris is kind of, it's almost like doom blues, I guess maybe.
Doom
it's,
blues.
It's kind of,
Doos.
it's kind of
that doesn't
bluesy.
work.
But it's kind of like the lyrics are all about like we're fucked, you're gonna die, your life's a lie, all that kind of shit. I just sing about like
So sunny stuff.
we're in a prison we built for ourselves type stuff. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And then
cool.
a couple songs are more lighthearted, joking.
Okay.
But most of them are just kind of the
And these
downward
you
stuff.
write all these songs, right?
I wrote all the songs we're playing tonight. I'm sure that's going to change with. I added a childhood friend, Bill Gents, to the band, and me and
Playing
him-
bass.
Playing bass, yeah, which makes all the difference. Playing without a bass player sucks. We did that.
I would agree.
And it's hard.
Yeah.
It just sounds empty.
Yeah. So it's you, Bill, and Pat then.
Yeah, me, Bill Gents, and Pat.
Okay.
And then actually the other night we played at the venue, and his bass rattled the PA like the monitor in front of me off the stage.
No shit.
And I was like, holy shit. John had us mixed up real good though. So
Yeah. What show was that?
we were supposed to play with this band called Thermostat, but they didn't show up.
Oh, okay.
And I said during the set, I'm like, the thermostat is broken, and everybody laughed.
I was hoping that it was the Trapped show that you maybe played that.
No, Jeremy knows better than to put us on those kind of shows.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because we just.
Though it would be really funny. Oh, I'm going to bring this up actually in a second. But yeah, it would be really funny because I know that you're the type of person that would talk about how shitty Trapped is from the stage.
Yeah. I'm like, if I played a show with those guys, I'd be like, yeah, you guys are really bad. Thanks for playing.
Yeah.
Like,
Which-
I just never got into that. Even when I was a kid and that song came out on the radio, I would just like turn the fucking station.
Headstrong?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Headstrong, I wear a tampon. That's what they might as well be.
Which brings me to my favorite Andy Schneider story. I'm going to tell it real quick if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Do you know what I'm going to say?
Oh, there's so many that
Okay.
I've heard that I
Well.
didn't even know I did.
It had to have been like 2010 or 11, something like that, maybe 12. James Legg, I think, or Black Diamond Heavy. Somebody was playing at the lift. Oh, yeah, it was Dysrhythmia. Dysrhythmia was playing at the lift. Earlier in the night, Papa Roach was playing. Do you know what I'm going to say now?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know what you're going to say now.
So you're in there. You like, I think.
I don't even think I was old enough to drink yet.
Yeah, you were in there, though. You were there. So
I had a beard and tattoos. I qualified.
So yeah, here's my version of the story. Tell me if I'm telling it wrong, but so you were there, and I want to say you didn't have a shirt on the whole night. Maybe I don't know.
I think I had I think I was wearing. I didn't at first because it was summertime.
You're right, it was
And
summertime.
I just came in and I was wearing a shirt. And I cooled off because I was out skating, so I was all sweaty. And I cooled off and I put on a shirt. And then, of course, it was a Slipknot shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, because I used to be a huge Slipknot fan. Actually, Tony Kirby gave me that shirt. So,
Okay,
yeah, definitely.
right, absolutely. So this Jacoby.
Yeah.
So these girls start coming in droves. No, I wouldn't say in droves. Maybe like three or four girls with this guy that looked kind of like a girl who ended up being Jacoby Shaddix from Papa Roach to come over to check out the band, and these girls are hanging out with him or whatever. And you go up to him, and you're like, "Hey, man, yeah, you're in Papa Roach, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, yeah." And you're like, "Yeah. What's the fucking song?"
I was like, suffocation.
Yeah.
And he's
No,
like,
no.
He's like, no breathing. I'm like, yeah, you guys suck.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys suck.
And I just, everybody who has watched me do that busted out laughing.
Oh, God, it's so good.
Everybody bought me drinks after that, and we had a good time. The rest of the night was a good time.
Yeah. I knew from that moment that I was going to be friends with you for a long time.
Yeah, they're the epitome of what's wrong with rock and roll music.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
They're
pretty
even
bad.
worse now.
I didn't even know they were still around, but
They incorporate dubstep in their music,
oh,
and it makes it even worse than it was before.
I bet Jeremy books them soon.
I'm sure he will.
I just got a feeling
he likes.
they'll show
that.
up at the venue.
We call that butt rock.
Yep,
That's butt rock.
butt rock. Good. Because what my brother used to call butt rock was like Manowar, and I was like, "Fuck you! I like Manowar."
Must just be the provocative album covers
And the assless chaps, probably.
Yeah,
That's literally butt rock.
Literally, yeah.
All right. Well, okay. So do you write most of the songs with the other two bands too, or like, do you kind of share songwriting duties with Gilly? Or?
Early on in Sludge Burner, I wrote quite a few tunes. Actually, me and Zach Gerlach wrote like the first basic set of tunes that we got, and then Zach had to end up having to take off. So
For Sludge Burner.
for Sludge Burner,
Okay.
so
I didn't realize he was an early member of that.
Yeah, it was basically that. Also started because Hayful was like, "Hey, I need you guys to get a death metal band back together, whichever one." And it was me and Splinter drinking, so we like, okay, we'll get Tapeworm Trend back together, which is really funny because in that version, I played guitar and sang a little bit, and we didn't play any Tapeworm Trend songs. We just played. We had a little thing called Screaming Whore.
Oh, Screaming Horror. Yeah. Man, you've done a lot.
We played some Screaming Horror tunes, and then in the middle of the set, me and Splinter switched. I started playing drums, and he picked up the guitar, and we're putting the Tapeworm Trend to rest. This is Sludge Burner. And that was like the very first thing we've ever did.
Okay.
And then we minus the singer, and then it was just me, Zach, and Splinter, and we wrote some tunes. Zach took off, and then we added Billy Carr and Dave Pearson.
Yeah.
Because I've worked with Dave in the Bradshaws, and I know he can carry a tune pretty good. So,
And Bill's an amazing guitar player.
which I feel bad because we got him playing bass, and he's probably the best
yeah,
guitar
you do.
player in the
That's
band.
right.
But yet he plays bass.
Yeah.
He's
But
a great bass player too.
He looks like he's having fun playing again,
He is,
which is
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, he told me that he
Yeah.
had
He's so,
he's always had like carpal tunnel issues in his hand.
yeah.
And he told me the one day, he's like, "Hey, I have to leave Sludge Burner," and I'm like, all right, well, this band's done. First Zach leaves, now you. You guys are my, like Billy's my rock. And Billy's like, oh, well, I got cancer. And I'm like, in your hand? He's like,
wow.
He's like, in my hand. He's like, no, man, in my colon. And I'm like, oh, well, that's really bad too. I didn't know.
This is so not funny, but it's really funny.
I thought you were talking about your hand.
Yeah.
But
Go on.
I just told him I just told him to take his time, do what you gotta do. I want to wait for him because he's an awesome dude.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
And actually Billy Carr, when I was like probably in 7th grade, told me to either drop in on the half pipe on my skateboard or he's gonna punch me in the face. So
that's the Billy I know.
So I did. I dropped in and I was like, oh, that wasn't that hard. He's like, see?
Yeah.
You, like he knew I could do it. He wasn't going to try to get me hurt.
Oh,
and he probably wouldn't have punched me in the face, but the motivation helped.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I grew up skating with him and my buddy James, and then now I'm in a band.
Klein Show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm in a band with Billy Carr. And then Pat Kress, he's also friends with James. I'm in a band with Pat Kress, two bands with him, So.
Yeah, it's funny, like that whole Whiskey
dudes.
River crew, like that I used to and still do sometimes hang out with, but I just saw Billy Thursday night and it was good to see him again. You guys have any shows coming up?
Sludge Burner is at the Smokestack April 23rd.
Oh, that's right.
With
I'm going to try and come
Ancient
to that.
Elm. They're from out of town. And then
Burn the Ailment.
Burn the Ailment is going to close.
That's
the night down.
Greg.
That's Greg on drums, Clint Benson on guitar with Zach Rogerson on guitar and vocals, and a dude named Brandon. I can't remember his last name though, playing bass. But they're a tight band. They're like along the lines of classic metal. They're cool. They're very cool.
I haven't heard them. I've been seeing their name on flyers. I just asked Drew to get me a beer. Really rudely. I was like, sorry, bud. I was trying to.
Oh wait, here they are over here.
I would have taken one of those.
I'll snag one of those.
I was trying.
Mind.
Thanks, buddy. I was trying not to interrupt you. Is what it was.
Thanks, Bob.
I guess we can always. You can always cut this bullshit out, like.
Yeah,
or not. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Well, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I know there was some inner turmoil with Snuff Queen going on soon. Can you talk about that, or?
Yeah, basically we just kind of disagreed on some of the art and
on the art.
On the art that Eric Hansel was doing. Like all three of us loved it, and a certain person didn't like it, which I understand because, whatever. Voice your opinion about your band. It's your band. It's all of our band. But at that point, it kind of became a little more his band than our band.
How so?
Like it was like his executive decision over ours. Us three is 3 versus 1, and he was like put his foot down. Which we all got together and we all talked about it, and we decided that this is not the way it's going to be, and it's us 4 or nothing.
Okay.
So we came to terms that we need to change the inside of the artwork for the album. It was great though. I mean, you open up the trifold CD. And it was like a silhouette of a girl spreading her ass cheeks. And I thought it was like right where the CD was is her butthole. But you can't see it because it was just a silhouette.
It's just a silhouette, right.
But I can see
This sounds great.
I think it sounds great,
I don't
too.
see why anyone would have a problem with it.
We're called Snuff Queen. It's like
right.
about killing bitches. So, but I understand, there's things that I disagreed with that, didn't happen in certain ways and whatever.
That you vetoed eventually?
And I was like, hey, that's a really lame riff. I don't want to play that at all. That's a really bad riff. I don't want to play it. And
yeah, but it seemed like this led to some almost like breaking up
It almost did. It almost did. We almost split up over it. But he apologized to everybody, and we agreed to take it further and just try to work things out. And
okay, well, that's good.
Instead of not talking about it like a bunch of whatever, we actually sit down and talked it out. And stuff,
yeah.
So yeah,
right,
hopefully.
Yeah.
But at one point,
hey, you need somebody to pose with a butthole. I'll do it.
At one point, he told us that the CD was just going to sit on his computer and rot, and I was like, yeah, that's not happening.
He said what now?
That our album that we recorded about a year ago was going to sit on his computer and rot. And I was like, no.
Oh.
And that's when me and Pat were like, all right, well, let's go to this band meeting, and if shit don't go right, let's just be like, well, we're putting the album out no matter what. We're
Right.
gonna thank the dude who recorded it. We're gonna thank the dude that mixed it.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna label it as Snuff Queen.
Right.
It's gonna be a black and white cover that just says Snuff Queen on it, and just fuck it.
Yeah.
You know, like if we're not gonna keep doing this, but shit came back, and we reworked it, and everything's gonna be okay. I think we're just gonna keep rocking out.
Yeah, because that's a great band.
Trying to
hate
make
to see
tunes
it
and
disintegrate over something stupid like that.
yeah, he apologized, and I apologized because I said a few things to him, you know, that probably wasn't nice. I told him, I'm like, hey, you know, if it wasn't for my girlfriend, whom I love very much, I would have drug you on the street and beat you. But I'm not that way anymore, you know.
I like how you told the story last week.
A lot of people said a lot of things.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Usually I'm the hard one to work with from what I know, but yeah, one time when we were doing Tapeworm Trend, I was like, come on, Splinter, drum it like this, and he's like, fuck you, man, and he loaded his drums up and he left, and I was like, I was just giving you a suggestion.
Seems a little harsh.
Yeah, holy shit, like, but he took it the wrong way, you know, it happens.
Drummers don't like to be told what's what. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, well, I get that.
I'll tell you where to
I
be.
agree with that. That band, Sludge Burner. Now we got Andy Benson in the band.
Yeah,
and he's like
one of my oldest friends. Love that guy.
He's playing this riff, and I was like trying to drum along with it, and he's like gave me an idea for the drum beat, and I'm like, that's really, that works, you know, like. But then again, I've only been drumming for a couple of years, so I'll take all the fucking help I can
Yeah, that's
get.
right. You play drums in that band. I always forget that. Okay, so Snuff Queen. Any gigs coming up?
Actually, the 24th of this month, we're at the Lift with the Midnight Ghost Train.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's right.
And those guys rip. So.
Yeah, they're awesome.
We played with them before. Our first show with Pat on drums, we actually played with those guys.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And Juarez is tonight. Obviously,
Juarez is
we
tonight,
can't really
and then-
hype that because by the time this airs, it's whatever.
It'll be.
Juarez. Elvez.
It's Pat Kress came up with that name. He's like, it's Worm and Kress put together.
Oh, now I kind of don't like it.
I wanted to just keep going by Riff Worm because
I thought it was a
I
female
fucking
warrior.
wrote this shit, you know. So, but he wanted to be equal part of it, so I'm like, sure, man, I don't care. Warris is all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, I'm an easygoing guy.
So, how long's your set tonight? Do you know?
Oh, about 35 with a little bullshit in between songs where I just feed back and hurt everybody's ears for a minute.
You gonna record with that band soon, or?
I don't know. This is all like a kind of a side burner thing.
Oh, okay.
Because like Sludge Burner and Snuff Queen are like, I spent a lot of time with those guys.
Yeah.
So this has like been kind of like, man, I got 3 bands and I got to find time to practice with 3 bands. This sucks.
Right.
But I don't know. Basically, what I think is going to happen with Warris is I'm going to keep writing solo tunes that have nothing to do with my other bands, and then I'll teach them to Bill, the bass player.
Yeah.
And then we'll load them to Facebook and tag Pat in it and be like, here, listen to this, you know, like, and then we'll just kind of do it like that, and then be like, oh, hey, we have a show coming up in a month. Let's actually get together and practice a couple times, type of thing, you know.
Okay.
So
That's
that's
cool.
cool if you can do that, you know.
Do you like writing songs?
Yeah and no. Like these songs I just threw together pretty quick, so like in my opinion, they could totally use more stuff to them.
Like lyrically, or what do you mean?
Like riff wise, there's a couple songs where it's just kind of like 2 parts bounce back and forth for a while.
Okay.
Lyrics, I have no problem telling stories.
Right.
I have no.
See, that's where
problem.
my problem is. I can't really write music.
This,
But like lyrics,
this,
I struggle with. But I don't know. It's kind of fun.
I love this verse to one of our songs we're gonna do tonight. It's called "Dead We Would All Lie," and it goes, "Take a look on through that telescope, see a sight that'll make you lose all hope. A Death Star hurling out its death throes, spreading death and destruction through the cosmos."
Wow. See,
and
that's better than
I like
anything
writing,
I would write.
I like writing about space and shit as much as I can because it's cool. Yeah.
I like writing about listening to hair metal in my fucking bedroom or whatever.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, what else? Anything else that you're doing musically right now, or?
No, just those 3 bands. I don't really have. Oh, well, actually, funny thing is with Warris, like, I can guitar solo to metal stuff really easily. because I always grew up listening to Slayer and like trying and playing along with Slayer tunes and whatever. And,
Heard of them?
you know, stuff like that. So when it comes to that, I have no problem doing guitar solo. But for this Ruix stuff, it's all like slow and jammy, and I have to like actually know my scales. So I've been I took a guitar lesson with Ryan Warner the other day.
Why?
Yeah. Just
No, I love him. I was just kidding. I just talked to him today. He actually told me that today too.
Yeah, and it helped. Just the one lesson, he kind of taught me a little ways on how. Okay, show me that riff. All right, well, you're kind of in this key. You should try to do a scale in that key.
Yeah.
And then he showed me that scale, and I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. That actually sounds good. It's just like
Cool.
some of the basic stuff that I never really learned because I was too busy getting drunk and
Just riffing
and throwing worming.
Riffing and worming.
And what Warner calls, he's like, yeah, you got the Kerry King solo down pretty good.
Yeah.
Which
And
all you do is tremolo pick and whittle your fingers around, and you're gold,
where does that nickname come from, Riff Worm?
This is gonna sound dumb, but I wrote a song for Sludge Burner, and Splinter was like, it's a good song, but that one riff doesn't really go there that well. And I'm like, okay, I understand that. Yeah, I'll see what I can come up with. Well, that night I went to bed really stoned, and I had a dream that I was crawling through a cave.
Okay.
And this cave slowly turned to what looked like the inside of a brain. And I heard something in the distance, and I kept going. And this worm came out of this hole, opened its mouth, and started humming this guitar riff at me. And I woke up in the middle of the night right there because I had the riff stuck in my head. I turned my amp on, turned my phone on, hit record, and played this guitar riff. Well, listened to it, like a week later because I forgot it even existed. And then I was like, that goes perfect with that song that Splinter said he didn't like that riff. So I showed the guys, and they're like, that's fucking awesome. And I'm like, yeah, Worm gave me that riff. And he's like, oh, you got a Riff Worm? And I'm like, I guess I got a Riff Worm. And that's where it came from.
You're right. That sounds stupid.
It's kind of stupid, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, it is. It is. It's like it's a chirpy ass dream I had.
No, that's actually, it's got a story to it. I like that. That's why I asked.
And then I've made it my Facebook thing as a joke, and it's stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then Facebook actually asked me, like, you need to send us a picture of your ID. We need proof that you're Riff Worm.
Yeah.
So I have my buddy Photoshop Riff Worm on my ID, and they never said anything about it.
Wow.
I sent it to. It's been like 8 months now since
the Facebook detective's really cracking down.
Like, what are they gonna do? Show it to my house? Yeah, we're looking for Mr. Riff Worm.
Mr. Worm.
Mr. Worm.
My wife still doesn't know your name off the top of her head.
Yeah, see,
my buddy Rory calls you Riff Worm too. He's like, your buddy Riff Worm that loves Megadeth, and he yelled at me for not liking him one day. I'm like, yep, that's Andy.
Me, yep.
That's a yellable offense.
That's totally a yellable offense. Welcome to. I love Dave Mustaine. I don't care how much of an asshole
I was
that guy
playing.
is.
I remember it. I remember the time he's talking about too. We were out at the shop, and I was playing Rust in Peace because it's one of my favorite records of all time.
Oh yeah.
And you're singing along to it, and you're over there fucking looking at tapes and air guitar, and Rory said something shitty. Like he always, he'll give me shit because I like metal and he likes fucking Ray LaMontagne or some bull. So I'll be like,
Well, he's a dad.
well, I'll be I'll be like, so I'd be like, well, Megadeth's one of my favorites, and then you like chimed in, you're like, I can't remember what you said. It was like Megadeth is life or something like that. It was like really dramatic, but I was poignant.
Rules,
I was like,
dude.
Yeah, so
Don't
he's
talk
like
about my fucking childhood band. I took sweating bullets into kindergarten class for like show and tell.
Hello,
I played,
me.
Yeah, and they,
meet the real
they sent me to the guidance counselor. They're like, "Is everything okay at home?" Like, yeah, man. Why not?
So that's something to talk about, like growing up metal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Parents are like my dad doesn't go past the 50s, man.
yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
See,
Growing up metal.
my
Yeah.
parents are like 15 years older than me,
Yeah.
so
I've met your mom. She's rad, dude.
Yeah,
she
she's
like
crazy.
fucking, yeah, she'll go.
But-
I was really waiting for you to go, like, hey, Mom, she's hot.
No, she's,
Like, just ruined this interview and it gets all
Yeah,
bloody.
it's-
Just-
younger than you.
yeah, she might be. She's only
fuck you, she's
40.
not. She's not that much older than me, though.
I'm 27, so she's 42.
Yeah, she's 5 years older than me.
Yeah. It's funny, though, because she's younger than Pat Kress, who I play with. And then Corey Jones, the Snuff Queen, he's like 45, so he's my dad's age.
Corey's 45?
Yeah.
He looks like he's
I know,
fucking
right?
25.
He looks young as shit. He looks young as shit.
Wow, that's crazy. I had
he
no idea
is
he was
the
that old.
nicest guy you'll
He's
ever
awesome.
meet.
I love that guy.
Right, yeah. He is the nicest dude ever.
All right. Well, anyway, what I was going to say is that your mom, like, we go, like toe to toe on fucking metal knowledge, like sitting at Off Minor a few times, like just like the jukebox would play some like early Priest or whatever, and she'd be like, I fucking love this song. I'm like, yeah, so do I.
Yeah, she's got the Metallica crossbones tattooed on her leg.
Yeah, awesome.
And then I went and got it on the back of my head, and it says Mom under it, but it says it like with Metallica M's. So it was really cool.
So,
People are like, what the
when
fuck
did
does that say?
When did you start playing? Like, was guitar the first thing?
Guitar was the first thing. My dad always had guitars, and I would just like pick them up and fuck with it. But like about 5th grade, I actually sat down and was like, I want to learn how to play this thing. My dad taught me how to do power chords and how to. Actually, the first song I ever played, believe it or not, was "Talk Dirty to Me" by Poison.
Great song.
Because my dad would play that song, and I just watched him, and then I played it, and he's like, "You got to move up to the A string here." And I'm like, "Oh," because at first I played it like G to A.
Yeah.
Like whatever. And then he's like, you gotta move it up. And then I figured it out right there. And I was like, oh, that's easy as shit.
Yeah.
So power chords, and I learned how to read tablature. And then I took a few lessons when I was younger from Scott Waterhouse. And he was like, had me playing like fucking Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and like the Mickey Mouse theme. And I was like, fuck you, dude. And I went home.
Fuck you, dude.
I went home and learned how to play Slayer and shit by reading tablature. And I come back to the next lesson. He's like, oh, so what have you been practicing? And I'm like, this, like, start playing Seek and Destroy. He's like, that is not what I showed you. He's like, why are you not using your pinky finger? And I just gave him the middle finger, and then I walked out. And I was like 13. I'm like, fuck you, old man. You don't know what you're talking about.
That man's dead now.
Of course.
I don't know him. I'm just kidding.
But of course, he was right. I should have learned how to use my pinky finger better. I mean, I can use it for chords and stuff, but otherwise it's useless.
Do you use it nowadays?
For chords. That's it.
Are you taking Scott Waterhouse's advice
Warner
these
was
days?
trying to get me to use my pinky finger running some scales. I was like, no. I'm like, I'm not.
You still
doing
use
it.
your middle finger a lot.
I use my middle finger a lot. Yeah, do very, very much so. But yeah, my guitar teacher was Kerry King and Jeff Hanneman for a while. And then when I joined the band with Micah, he taught me for American Inquisition. He taught me all his guitar licks on bass.
Mike is a fucking monster.
Yeah, so he like totally advanced my skills. At least by 2. Mm-hmm. Like all of a sudden, I became that much better of a guitar player because I played with him. So.
Yeah, that was a great band too, from what I remember. I really don't remember any songs by him, but I remember I enjoyed watching you guys a lot.
But we were good.
And it was him and Micah.
And Pat on drums, Pat Gilligan.
Yeah, Pat. Was Boozy
And
in the
then,
band?
no, and then Jake Roth was on vocals. And it was just like scream metal.
So this is like post-tapeworm and post-lines
It was like
all at the same time.
all at the same time for a while.
I think it was pre-Lines, wasn't it? No?
No. Because when we started America, yeah, Lines was around before America was, but it was like Tapeworm was there, and then like it split up, and then I joined that band, and then Tapeworm got back together for a minute there, and then Screaming Horror, and then now I'm doing stuff that doesn't sound anything like any of that stuff ever did, which is good, whatever. Because like the thing I like about my music now that I'm doing with my friends and everything is like. It's heavy, but it's not like death growls constantly. We actually do some singing and
Yeah, that's cool.
Get some melodies in there and stuff. So,
What are you listening to these days?
well, in my Jeep right now, I got that Down CD with Wish Tripper on it.
Wish Tripper, is that?
It's like 2000.
Is that
2000?
3?
No,
Is it 3?
it's like
That's what I thought.
I don't know. It's got a picture of a cross on the front, and it's all like fucking crazy trippy colors. Yeah, 2012.
Oh, I don't know that one.
It's a newer one, but I remember when I saw them live, they played Witch Tripper, and I'm like, because he's like, this song's called Witch Tripper. And I'm like, yeah, fuck you, Phil. I could beat your ass. and then they played Witch Tripper. And I was like, this song kicks ass. So when I figured out what album it was on, I went and got it the other day, actually.
Huh, I'm going to have to check out recent down shit. I didn't know that they were still doing it.
And then, of course, I got that Judas Priest tape. I got it. CDs were changed the last time, Sin After Sin.
Yeah, that one's great.
That song, Here Come the Tears, man. That song is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at first I didn't really care for it. Then I listened to it a couple times. I'm like, dude, that song is so fucking good.
Fuck yeah, that early 80s Priest stuff's awesome.
Actually, that's like 77.
Well, Sin After Sin, yeah, you're right.
That's like, I was like, wow, man, that's 11 years before I was born.
That's the year before I was born. Yeah. Yeah, that.
Oh, yeah. Before the record
they were
label,
kind of a like hippy dippy band in the late 70s, kind of like they were on Whistle Test and shit, like doing that kind of stuff. It was awesome, actually, but not at all
once the 80s hit, they kind of mellowed out a lot. You know, like it wasn't as heavy, but it was still considered metal for back then.
Yeah,
but there's not
wave of British.
There's not as much, double bass and that stuff.
Right. Totally.
Like there's a lot of double bass in that Sin After Sin for being from 1977. Man, that's a lot of double bass.
I'm gonna have to revisit that one. I haven't heard.
And
the double bass is not.
I feel like an idiot, but I thought, what's that song? Fuck. Grand Canyons, Space and Time Universal. That's Slayer did it. They did a cover of it, but I thought it was a Slayer song. Turns out it's like Dissident Aggressor or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's a Priest song, not a Slayer song.
Yeah.
But I heard Slayer's version first. Because
was that on the covers, the Slayer covers album? Yeah, yeah.
It was also on
I didn't
South
like
of
that
Heaven,
album.
though. What's that? It was on South of Heaven.
Okay.
And that was like
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Dissident Aggressor. Except for the Slayer's version is way different, but
yeah.
Arguably better.
I don't know. Judas Priest version's got those high vocals that you just cannot beat.
True.
That dude's voice is just.
Chuck Schuldiner did
I was just going to bring up Painkiller. What do you think of that record?
I love that.
That's like one of my favorite albums.
The greatest. Like,
it's so good.
Like, yeah, their 80s stuff's good for being 80s music, but it's not metal.
Yeah,
it's more
but then
pop,
they did like Ram It Down, Turbo, and Point of Entry, which are shitty, kind of. And then all of a sudden they come back with Painkiller.
Like,
holy
when I
fuck.
skate at the Hollywood, the indoor park, that's like one of the first songs I play.
Painkiller.
It just makes me
so
fucking
good.
want to fly around the park and run kids over.
So how's the skating going?
I haven't been doing it as much because I've been just so busy running around with all these bands and trying to get shit going musically and whatever.
Yeah.
But I still get to the park and I pay my membership at Hollywood because I'd rather skate there than the park we had down by the river.
Okay.
It's way more fun. I was there today for a little bit, just some scooter kids. Watched a couple scooter kids collide. That was pretty funny. The one they were both. Well, the one was kind of crying. Scootering is so alien to me. I never. Probably like 12, and they were just cruising through and just boom, and I was like, ha.
I saw two kids scootering around up by my house. They were easily in their late 20s.
Oh yeah, they had. There's those.
See, that's
kids
irritating.
It was really irritating.
Oh man.
It's just funny,
Yeah, and they show up to the skate park with the scooters.
I guess people thought that about skateboarding. Well, it's just a child's toy, which in a sense it is, but it's a hell of a lot cooler. You can drink a beer and smoke a joint while you ride a skateboard down the street.
How often do you do that?
Actually, I used to do it all the time, but I used to cruise around on my longboard at night.
Sort of
drinking
counterproductive.
No, I like to skateboard stoned and have a couple beers in me. That's when I do my best work.
Right, but like on the skateboard, smoking a joint and drinking.
Yeah, but like you can't do that with a scooter because you got handlebars.
No, yeah, that's true.
I mean, and it's hard to ride with bare. I can't fucking ride a scooter. So,
well,
I have some friends that, not friends, but I get along with them.
Yeah,
like some of the older dudes that do it, but
You don't want to be on the record saying your friends are
yeah,
yeah. Well, not friends.
They're not friends, but they're all right. At least they're not selling crack. I guess there's a lot worse things you could be doing, I guess, than riding a scooter.
Right, like rollerblading.
Yeah, it's pretty gay. I got friends that rollerblade too.
When did the when did the interest in skating start for you?
I moved over to Dubuque when I was like, I think it was like 10 or 11.
Where are you from?
I was just right across the bridge in Wisconsin.
Oh,
Like, I
okay.
went to school in Hazel Green and stuff.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But I never even heard of a skateboard until I moved over here and I saw these older kids doing it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And for a while, I had one, but I didn't really mess with it or nothing. And then like 6th grade, I got like the skate park. They built that down by the river. Right away, I snapped my ankle in half, getting metal plate and all this shit in my ankle.
Right.
And then healed up from that and skated and whatever. Got hurt again in 8th grade. Still kept, for some reason, I wanted the skateboard, so I just kept skating. And I've been skating pretty solidly ever since,
Yeah.
freshman year in high school.
Yeah.
So it was just always something fun to do, and I felt like skating and music kind of went hand in hand because music inspired me to skate. Skating inspired me to play music.
Okay.
And then like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 was just like fucking great for
So you get to
learning
when you're
music.
not skating, like
When I-
skate on the television.
when I was sitting at home with a broken ankle playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater, I was learning who the Dead Kennedys were.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I guess that's
they're
true.
On that, they're
That
on
was
that first soundtrack, and I'm like, going downtown, gonna ride the truck. Going downtown, gonna beat up drunks.
Yeah, the Jello waiver. That's it. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. A lot of people I know like would play that, or like that would come in the record store or whatever. Like, I want this Dead Kennedys or this Suicidal Tendencies or whatever because I heard it on Tony
That's how I
Hawk Pro
discovered
Skater.
High on Fire too, which is
No shit.
is a band I'm pretty into now.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Real sludge metal, like fucking low tune,
Yeah.
fast, heavy shit.
But you mentioned earlier that like, well, I'm not going to make any money off skating. Is that something that you kind of aspire to? Thanks, bud.
I don't want to say I aspire to make money, but to get some like notoriety. Like, I'm not going to go anywhere with my skateboarding because I'm starting to get older now. But music is something I can do for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Because eventually my fucking body's going to be too wrecked to skate. I just dislocated my shoulder a month ago again.
Wow.
And I'm like going to work, lifting up furnaces and shit and air conditioners and with a dislocated shoulder. Like, this is fun, I ain't going to do that. I ain't going to get hurt playing music. So
Yeah.
like skateboard is
Carpal
great.
tunnel.
Skateboard's great, but music's more my go-to now because it's something I can do.
Yeah.
Whether I can physically, it's not as physical as skateboarding. Drumming's pretty fucking physical though.
Yeah. That's true.
I run out of breath on a few songs because they're fast, but
I just refuse to play fast anymore. I'm too old for that shit.
I know I should just get rid of my double bass pedal and be like,
What's that? What'd you say?
Your liver.
Yeah, no shit.
your check.
I just
liver light.
dislocated my
liver light
liver
just came
a month
on.
ago again.
Loaded my liver.
Your check liver light just came on. No, because I imagine if I wanted to make money playing music, I'd either have to play covers or play Nickelback tunes.
Yep.
So if I don't want to do either of those things.
So you don't
Maybe a
consider
cover here
playing
and there.
Nickelback songs, even doing covers? It's not
No,
even that good.
That's just like that. It's just a whole another level of shit.
Yeah. No, you're right. That like I've talked about that on this show quite a bit with other people. Like in this town, people pay to see cover bands, and it's sad, but it's fucking
Yeah,
true.
they'll pay to see a cover band, but they won't pay to see a band that
Right.
is new and original.
Right.
And like,
They'll walk in the lift or the venue or Aaron before or whatever. Like
they're
any
like,
other,
never mind.
like cover charge. I don't like that. Like
yeah.
the
Oh,
fuck?
we're gonna go pay. Not that Johnny Trash is bad guys; those guys are great guys. But
yeah, but they're a cover band.
I'm
So
not gonna pay to hear the same AC/DC song I heard on the radio while I was at work 5 times.
right.
When do we make the T-shirt that has a fleur de lis that says Dubuque, and then it's cover charges no, cover bands. Yes.
That's a
Yeah,
good idea.
That's true.
Get rich on that.
At least someone's making money there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like with all the bands I have right now, if we make any money, it goes right back into the band.
Right.
We don't take any of it.
Yeah, and that's how it should be. If you somehow make a profit,
We
that's
sell
cool.
merch. It goes back to getting more merch. to sell more merch.
The only time I ever made a decent amount of money was when I was in the Kiss tribute band.
Yeah, I bet.
It was the only time, still to this day.
Still,
I made more money
band.
in one show with a Kiss tribute, with that Kiss tribute band, than I made my entire life almost with all my other bands put together.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Last fall, when me and Pat did that the Riff, at the time it was just called Riff Worm because whatever. Mm-hmm. But we both made like $300 that weekend.
See, that's cool.
And we didn't it wasn't a serious thing, so we didn't put it back into the band. We just pocketed it. But Ash at the Sandy Hook, he always pays us really well.
Yeah, he's rad.
And really, dude? We only played for like a half hour. He's like, yeah, $100 each.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he pays good.
Yeah, he's crazy like that. It's cool though,
Well, cool, man. Let's see. What else? You still live in the building that I lived above you?
Living in that.
In old Bill's building?
Call it a building. Yeah.
Yeah. It's is it still falling apart? Is it still infested with fucking bats?
Yeah. It's still all of those things. And it's just getting worse,
Yeah.
But he's pretty lenient. I paid rent like 12 days late this month, so
that's good, yeah.
Like he
I think Colker said that he pays like sometimes one time he like just forgot and Bill never said anything. Like
probably he's been there forever.
Yeah. Well, and Colker helps him out with like shit around the house too. Like I can't imagine how handy fucking Colker is, but like he'll hose the gunk off of something. I don't know.
Yeah.
and then maybe he'll get some money off. But yeah, when I lived above you, like
my ceiling collapsed.
That's right. Yeah. Oh man, you remember that?
I had squirrels running around in my apartment.
See, that's
like
fucked
literally
up.
fucking. My dog's chasing something around the apartment. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? He's chasing a squirrel.
Yeah, I remember I was in Maine, and all of a sudden Drew's like texting me. He's like, Andy's apartment is caved in and full of water.
Yeah.
You might want. Yeah, you might want to have someone check on your apartment.
I don't know how that worked. Something with the addition. It's the addition of the build because like where your kitchen is, that is an addition. That's not
right. No, it totally is. Yeah.
So it's falling. Right. It's falling off the back of the building.
And I always had like in that kitchen, I always had like a spot on the ceiling that was sagging and like would drip occasionally when it would rain, but it never came down. I don't know.
I was just like him in my room chilling, and all of a sudden, just black mold everywhere.
Did he at least pay for you to like stay someplace while they fixed it?
He came and he cleaned it up, and then he left a hole in my ceiling for a month or two. Yeah, that's how the squirrels got in there. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on, dude? You gonna fix it? Till this day, it doesn't look good, but
he did finish it.
Yeah, he came and put a piece of drywall, mudded it, and whatever, and screwed it up in there.
Shit, man. Yeah, that building was dog shit.
Yeah.
Still, I guess it is, but cheap for its location to everything location, downtown. Pretty cheap.
If I fucking live there for another 5 years, I'll kill myself. But hopefully, I'll be out of there by then. That place it's bad.
Yeah,
but like you said, it's cheap. So
yeah. Are you looking to get out of there soon?
Oh, probably within like a year,
a
year or two, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I only signed on with him for like 9 months, and then I was like, as soon as 9 months was up,
I signed on for a year, and the year's been up, and I've just been paying him month to month. What I usually pay him at the end of the month.
That's cool that he lets you do that.
So, it's like, hey,
as soon as I got my first bat in, I'm like, fuck this, I'm going.
Your apartment
always to
like, the girl that lived there before you, she always had me come up there with like a skateboard deck and kill bats for her.
Marta and Hannah.
Yeah, and like all you gotta do is wait for the bat to fly past you, and then turn around and smack it. Because it'll like juke you out, and whichever way it goes, you turn around and smack it from behind and kill it.
Yeah, this is the same thing. The record store was infested with bats. I'd get like 10 a day.
Yeah.
In the middle of the day, they'd just be flying around customers. They wouldn't panic. I would be flipping the fuck out because I hate them. I hate them.
Yeah, they're diseased creatures.
So I would like I tried to get the ones out of my apartment above you, and at the last second, I would just like bail on it and chicken out.
Ooh. I'm missing a bunch of fucking shit here. Hold on a second.
Oh shit! I guess I forgot that you got to shoot. I didn't forget, but
it's 9:17, I guess.
Okay, well we can get you over to the show.
Dozen missed calls from Hayden. Panic texts.
Yeah, I guess
Time to wrap it
we
up.
probably do have to get you over to the show.
I better
So,
get over there. Here
Before
soon.
we do, your band's plugs. We need to get your plugs in.
Snuff Queen, our album's coming out fairly soon.
Okay.
We don't know when yet, but it'll be out.
On,
And then,
just digital CD.
CD, and then we'll probably do digital eventually and some vinyl cuts too.
Nice.
We're doing that with Forbidden Place Records through Tony
Oh
Willis.
yeah, Tony.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, I know Tony. He's
and
good.
then
Good shit.
Sludge Burner, we're in the process of trying to settle down and actually record some shit. We got a couple demos on SoundCloud, but that's about it. And our Reverb Nation page. And then Warris is brand spanking new, and I don't really know what's going to happen with that. We're just going to keep rocking as shows come, and
Yeah.
just
Take it as it comes. Whoops.
exactly, just kind of keep playing. As long as I'm playing music, I'm pretty happy because
Yeah.
it's fun to do.
So what's the? Is it just sludgeburner.bandcamp or .soundcloud?
No. Shit, I couldn't even tell you, honestly. You'd have to go on our Facebook page and look through links and find demos.
Okay.
And there's one on YouTube as well.
Okay.
Sludge
So
Burner,
YouTube,
Nemesis.
SoundCloud, you can find all this stuff.
You can find, if you dig for it. If you go on either band's Facebook page, you'll find something to listen to.
Okay.
So, but
Cool. Anything else to get out of the way? Well, you got the Sludge Burner show up at
Sludge Burner
Smokestack.
23rd of April. And then Snuff Queen's the very next night with Midnight Ghost Train at the Lift.
Cool, buddy. Thanks for coming down, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Hell yeah.
Gotta rock a piss before I leave.
Do it. All right, Andy Schneider. Man, I miss living upstairs from that guy. Before I moved in, I don't know, this is a little aside, but before I moved in, I thought he was going to be the loud one, and I ended up being the one that kept him up most of the time. But anyway, it was a great talk. I had a lot of fun sitting down here with him, drinking straight vodka, and it was cool to, get Matt and Drew and Bob involved in the conversation too. There might be more stuff like that in the coming future. I don't know. We're getting a little bit looser with the format of the show, and I don't know. We're always trying new shit here at Ruix Podcast. I don't know if you noticed that. Maybe because it's not entirely true. But I think we're going to try it anyway and see how it goes. Because, to tell you the truth, a lot of times we have better conversations after the show when the mics are not rolling than the actual conversations. So maybe we'll start doing stuff like that. I don't know. We'll see. The sky is the limit at this point. But one more plug for the Project One music series. Flame Job, Rainy Day Fund, Oda Benga, Shot to the Heart, the Dicky Birds, and Lyric playing at Smokestack on Sunday, May 1st from 5 to 9. Those are the names of the bands that have materialized from this 12-week program that we have put together here at DAAC. So, again, I'm super excited about it. One more plug for Andy's upcoming shows too. Again at Smokestack on April 23rd, he's going to be playing there with Sludge Burner, and then at the Lift the next night with Snuff Queen on April 24th. So check those out if you get a chance. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. Subscribe on iTunes, or follow me on Facebook, Twitter. I'm Jeagle78 at Jeagle78 on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me at Tumblr, where I update the Ruix blog, ruixzine.tumblr.com, ruixzine.tumblr.com. Or at least I try to. I'm not always real reliable with it. I'm trying though. I'm sorry. I'm still, finishing up a degree here, so last couple of weeks have been a little bit hectic, but I'm not making excuses. I will do my best to keep that updated. But yeah, you can find. actually, you can also find the podcast now available for streaming on Google Play. So there's another avenue for you to go down. Just keep listening to the show and keep checking in on us, and we'll see you next time.